Willie Obiano's first term in office had witnessed massive growth in infrastructural development across the 3 senatorial zones of the state. Governor Obiano had then made a pledge to continue, complete and commission projects he inherited from the previous administration and commence new ones. This was a promise well kept as the state witnessed the construction of hundreds of roads and bridges amongst other infrastructure. The flyovers in Oka are evidence of the determination of Chief Obiano to transform Anambra State with world-class infrastructure. Governor Willie Obiano, during the inauguration ceremony for his second term in office, assured that the state was on another journey of remarkable development. He pledged that the state will witness improvement in the provision of infrastructure, entrepreneurship and agriculture, just as it did in his first tenure. This promise has seen Chief Obiano awarding contracts for the construction of more roads and bridges.
We inherited some projects, like I told, about 96, and we kept on working on them, and we completed 51 out of 96. And the remaining 45 we inherited from the past administration. We are working on it. And as we are working on the one we inherited, we are still working on new roads. We have awarded about 138, and we are working, completed about 70% of them, and still working on the 30%. And we are awarding more, because Anambra State's communities, they need roads. A road is not complete until the furnitures are put in place. The furnitures are the road markings, the white, the yellow paints. This thing shows the driver on the lane you have to take to. The one by the side shows where the pedestrians will walk. We put pedestrian crossing. We are actually putting some bombs, some synthetic bombs on the road. So a road without a furniture is just like a soup without salt. So that's why this government insisted that we must put these road furnitures to give that completeness on road construction.
Having won a resounding victory in the 21 local government areas of the state, Governor Obiano has continued to work as one seeking re-election even when he is not. In order to ensure that the projects are delivered according to specification, Governor Obiano pays unscheduled visits to project sites.
This is a very important road that I'm happy that the people of Okono, Amanuke, Uru, and Achala, very important road, a brilliant community, food basket of Anambra State, and I'm very, very happy to be here, and I like what the contractor has just done, and the promise I elicited from him, and he didn't know I was coming today. So this is a surprise visit, but I can see he's working very much on site, personal. He's not an absentee contractor. That's the kind of thing we like.
He does so to take contractors and even the engineers unawares. Because maybe when he schedules his visit, you will go and do some to impress him. But when he comes suddenly, he comes unannounced, he will see the rating. And I'm happy to say that size has gone to. His Excellency was highly impressed with the level of work that has been done, the quality of work that has been done. We have 2 sets of supervisors. We have the consultant, who is engaged by the ministry, and we have the ministry engineer, we call them engineers rep. In every project we have, some of them are resident, depending on the length of the job. The job is so long, we have an engineer rep that is resident. He wakes up and sleeps with this contractor. So we want to make sure that we get value for the money we spend on these roads. It's quite a lot of money, and if you leave this thing without supervision, they will give us a shoddy job. We are not so much interested in doing 1 million kilometers. We want to do high quality roads, so that this number we are working on and the one we are going to award, we want to get the value for money, and that's what His Excellency is preaching: getting value for money, doing more with less.
Well, that's fantastic. That's what we call on the spot assessment. So you don't govern by hearsay. You believe, right? You trust, you believe, but you verify. So it's a very good system of checking that whatever is to be done is done right. So he goes there, he catches people unawares to be sure that they're doing the right thing at every point in time, even when nobody's watching them. Like you know, he's a man of accountability, as a former auditor, and he's a man that always wants to deliver on his promises. So he set up this office to help him drive the process of ensuring that his directives, the projects he has initiated, are properly delivered according to standard. Following the cue from what the former Prime Minister of the UK did, Tony Blair, he created a Prime Minister's Global Unit that helps him to follow up on everything that's happening in his country, so that nothing gets lost under the carpet. So His Excellency created this office to monitor projects, to ensure that standards are met, that to ensure that there's efficiency in the system, to ensure that whenever he gives a directive is kept, and to be a central point for collation of data for him to be able to have an eye on everything that's happening in the state. So in essence, what this office does for the governor is to achieve delivery of service to the citizens of Anambra State.
The government of Chief Willie Obiano not only builds roads and bridges, but ensures quality control, and this it does through the Anambra State Materials Testing Laboratory.
You can be sure that the quality of roads being done in the last few years under this administration will far outweigh, in terms of class and quality of work, because this lab was not in existence. The method of quality control checks was not there. So you can be sure that all the roads and bridges done under the present administration of Chief Willie Obiano will definitely outstay and the general infrastructure layout in the state, because of the presence of the services we render. In here, for example, this is the soil lab. The soil lab means that, most of the roads, of course, you build them on soil. So it means that all your filling works for soil, we have them all tested, make sure that the right grade and quality of soil material for your different components, whether it's sub-base or your base course, whatever you do to build up the road, we ensure that we have all the equipment and instrumentation to make sure that we select the best material for the different grades of roads. So the soil lab does all that. You can do classification of soil, you can do determination of soil. For example, the room we are sitting in, this is called the triaxial machine room. This equipment here you can only find about 2 of them in the country. One here in Anambra and then the other one in Lagos. Nowhere else will you find this state-of-the-art machine. So this more or less predicts the behavior of any soil material, depending on the loading. So in other words, whatever soil you want to load it on a bridge, load it on buildings, whatever it is. This can give you the failure pattern of that soil. So in other words, you can properly design, whatever soil formation you need for whatever the loading is.
While the roads are built to last longer, incidences of building collapse have reduced in the state as a result of the use of the facility.
Quality control of all infrastructure projects, your roads and bridges, for example, we ensure that they are well built, constructed, we ensure they conform to specifications. Your buildings, we ensure also that we abate the failures and collapses of buildings generally in the state. So in other words, for building construction, for bridges, for roads, and all general infrastructure, we ensure that they are built up to the highest standards. Prior to setting up the lab, compared to after setting up the lab, statistical data indicates that there's about 70% reduction in the spate of collapses in the state. So in other words, the state has done 70% much better than when the lab was not in existence.
Still in his bid to ensure that the roads last longer and because of his zero tolerance for potholes on Anambra roads, Governor Obiano rehabilitated the Anambra State Road Maintenance Agency.
The agency was existent, but then it was somehow in a comatose form. Even though it was set up to do road maintenance, but it wasn't really functioning. So His Excellency undertook to revamp Anambra Road Maintenance Agency, in two major ways. He created an initiative called a Zero Pothole Initiative, in which case he recruited 150 Anambra youths, and we divided them into 50, lots of 50, each 50 facing each senatorial zone, and we were very well trained in the act of road maintenance and cutting of potholes and patching of potholes. And then he bought equipment for armor, and then these youths were trained in the use of but these are light equipment, which is asphalt cutter, asphalt roller, and then small shovels, barrows, and stuff like that, and then trucks to carry asphalt to the sites where they're going to do road patching, and then the pickup vehicles to carry the equipment to the site, and the buses to transport the staff to the site. So that has been a fantastic success, in the sense that thousands of square meters of potholes have been patched across the state. And in addition to that, the initiative has also created a lot of employment for our youths, and as well as creating a pool of now semi-skilled construction workers out of our youths, which is fantastic.
He's highly committed. In Amma, they've divided the road maintenance into 3 zones we have in Anambra State: the north, the south, and the central. And they have teams that are working on it. Money was approved to enable them get the latest state-of-the-art equipment for road patching. So the governor is committed. And they are fully funded to make sure that we have zero pothole. We call them zero pothole team. We want to make sure that if there's any pothole, we fix it. But if we do a road without maintenance, the lifespan will not get to what it's supposed to be. So that's why we are paying particular attention to doing a road and maintaining the road, so that we live to its lifespan.
The maintenance agency also engages in minor road construction.
On the heavy-duty side, His Excellency also acquired a few heavy-duty equipment. We're now using the heavy-duty equipment to do jobs that are not pothole, but road maintenance, which will, rehabilitation of some roads, in the state. So that has gone very well. There's so many examples that can be given. For instance, the Ibuku Nobi Road at the Ibuku market, shortly after Ibuku market, heading towards Nobi, used to be very, very bad. It was this agency that went there and fixed it up and asphalted it, and it's been like that for about two years now. There's a road just beside the Kwata flyover in front of Prince Paradise Hotel. About this time last year, it was extremely very bad. It was Amma that also went and fixed it up. There's a road at Obiokoli, the junction of Obiokoli by former Abakaliki Road, the now Club Road. It was bad too. It was this agency that went to fix it up. Even Amobia bypass, as at rainy season of last year, was extremely very bad because they had developed a lot of failed sections. So it was also Amma that went there to fix it up. Niger Street in Onitsha, Fega Onitsha, was also very bad. It was this agency that went in and fixed it up. And like that, we're still working on a lot of other roads, interventions, both even indeed some erosion washout areas. For instance, just behind the prison, along Zik Avenue, there was a huge washout there, erosion washout, and it was Amma that went in there and fixed it up. Something like that. We had a similar thing at Nibo bypass, and then another big one at Alo. Along the Alo Abatete road, it was also Amma that went in and fixed it. So those are the things that we do with the heavy-duty equipment that we have. So that wasn't happening before His Excellency started them.
Governor Willie Obiano, determined to deliver democracy dividends to the people, works with a strategy which drives his policy on roads and bridges.
People who come to government to do governance, do politics in order to continue with governance.
So when he won the first tenure, when he won the election to usher him into the second tenure, people who thought that he came as a politician expected him to behave the habitual way of politicians. Since he's gotten the 21/21, therefore, so be it. Right? He took everybody by storm. The next day, after swearing in his principal officers, his manifest came out, and he started, commissioning, inspecting road constructions and all that. Yeah. So if you notice that there is some kind of dullness in the road construction, dullness, link it to season. At the height of rainy season, anyone who is a governor, who is a technocrat, whose mantra is value for money, you find out that he doesn't spend at the height of rainy season. Immediately after rains, road construction picks up again, because that is when you spend money and you get value. So I'm saying to everyone, watch. At the height of rainy season, you don't see as much activity on the roads. Immediately after the rainy season, at the beginning of the dry season, the tractors are rolled out. He wants to make effective use of his money. If you're driving around Anambra State and you see roads constructed by Obiano, they are elbow to elbow. You'll see the edge of the road, and then an elbow. That's where you have concrete and all that, and then a gutter drainage. That way, the road is maintained. It does not crack. It does not begin to chip off from the edges. Therefore, he will not be handing over to his successor roads that are immediately due for maintenance. When a successor comes, he will enjoy the roads for at least 10 years. It is not the quantity, it is the quality. And then, every road that is built, if you go out of this government house, you begin to see there are the furniture, what we call road furniture. Every road must have cat eyes, must be marked, must have bus stops, must have flowers, some greenery, some decoration, furniture. Just as you furnish your sitting room, roads are furnished. You must have the lights, the street lights. So these are the total packages that he gives as roads that are worth the name. That is why the name of his ministry is road construction, road maintenance, and road furniture. That is the strategy that drives Obiano's road policy.
At a time like this, when the economy went down into recession and funds are so scarce to come by, and payment to salaries is begin to look like an achievement, His Excellency has gone extra mile to continue with road projects, with infrastructural projects, building, as we speak, a legacy project called the International Conference Center in Oka that can house 5,000 people. For information, Oka cannot host any major conference because there's no major sitting space that can hold up to 1,000 to 5,000 people at a time. And that's why you can hear us holding, for instance, the lawyers conference, the Nigerian Bar Association conference, because we don't have that space. We can hold a major, like say the National Convention for the Nigerian Society of Engineers. So that's a legacy. So the governor is doing well in legacy projects. You can see what he did with the flyovers that are beautified Oka and also help commuters to be able to crisscross the two divides of Oka.
Governor Obiano also inaugurated a road design committee to ensure that the quality of roads in Anambra State meets international standards.
It's an ad hoc committee of UNESCO. It's an ongoing committee, to continuously review the cost of our doing roads and checking the best technology around the world that we can apply. This committee also should look into the equipment we are using and whether there are new and better things that we need to do. In summary, all we're trying to do is to ensure that the roads we build are long-lasting roads.
The committee, which has stakeholders in the sector as members, is chaired by the Commissioner for Works.
We set up that committee because Anambra State, we have over 900 and something active erosion sites. And majorly erosion, this erosion site in Anambra State is caused by poor termination of drains. He set up this committee that when a consultant finishes the design, a part of this design committee, this design committee, majorly what we do is to make sure that drains are properly terminated, designs are properly done, the proper reinforcements are given, and we want to equally make sure that the pricing is moderated. And it's paying off. We are doing a lot of work, because if you don't discharge flood water properly, we are causing more trouble. So the essence of this is to make sure that the governor gets value for his money, so that any community that a road is given, they will be happy, not making them worse than they were.
This is aimed at bringing out the best and the best quality, the best standard, the best class, and indeed to even do more with less. So, which means even try to do our roads at a cheaper cost. So those are all part of what this design review committee does.
In governance, you make policies, you review policies, and then you make another policy, and then you implement policies and drive policies. So the governor saw the need to pay more attention to designs, because he wants to drive down cost of everything that he's doing when it regards to construction, building. So he created his committee to review every single design that is made in the state, especially road design, to have a better idea to dot the I's and cross the T's. So the design committee helps to cut costs, helps to ensure more standard designs, and also helps to ensure that we do more with this. The government keeps building roads, keeps building bridges, and it's a daily thing. It's something that happens on a daily basis. In as much as Anambra State is the highest, most interconnected state in terms of the rural areas, there are still places where there are needs for roads, and roads are expensive. So the government keeps working on roads, and including the federal government roads, which we are waiting for reform. So it's a continuous process. It's working very hard on that, and I'm sure by the end of the second tenure, we'll have a lot of things to talk about.
Political watchers say, at the pace Chief Willie Obiano is going, Anambra State would have been totally transformed at the completion of his second term in office.